Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to your Sunday. I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. And this is our Sunday stock talk. So before I even get into that, if you've never tuned into one of these, this is where we come together as a team and just refresh ourselves on kind of like maybe what to pay attention to for this upcoming week. I want to make sure that you guys understand that none of the stocks that we talk about today are in any way a stock suggestion. You should never trade based off of other people's opinion, but this is where you can come share the stock that you see value in the ticker call out format, and then I can give you my 2 cents, right, about what I think about that specific stock. But at the very end of the day, again, that is simply just my opinion, and you should never trade based off of that. So I'm going to start sharing my screen just like we said, and I'm going to start welcoming everyone. So let's make this a little bit smaller. What is going on? So please do me the biggest favor, and again, this is just due to respect and due to I want to make sure that you guys work hard, right, for your money, that you guys post whatever stock that you see value in the ticker call out format. So you're going to see the TechBud's Garage channel posting the ticker call out format. So all you have to do, and all I ask you is, I want to break down the stock that you see value in, but I need to make sure that you've done your own due diligence before I give you my 2 cents, right? Because again, I want to make sure that you've set up your own plan and you have your own idea, and not just pretty much come up with like an opinion based off of my 2 cents. I hope that you guys understand that and why that's so important to us. So let's go ahead and get right to it. This Ricky's so close to 600K. I know, really exciting. I think we're like about 1,500 subscribers away. So really do appreciate it. And hopefully throughout this video, we're going to be going live for about 30 minutes. I hope I earned your thumbs up in this video. I do want to remind you that if you're not already a part of it, I would encourage you to join our free Facebook group. We're the largest one out there. We have a little bit over 220,000 members, and that is right here. So again, that's going to be that second link down below, and all you have to do is click that link. We'll bing you on over to our Facebook Messenger, and you can join 220,000 other people all over the world. Also, if you guys have not checked out that first link, this is the perfect position checklist. It's just, we want to make sure that you do your own due diligence and holding yourself accountable for whatever stock that you see value in. So if you've ever had trouble coming up with, what makes up a quality stock or a quality trade, this is where criteria comes in hand. And I hope after this video, you'll have a little bit of a better understanding in what makes that, right? So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with this one. So again, thank you again for posting it in the ticker call out format. So we got Pablo calling out ticker symbol PAYS. Every stock that I break down, I'm going to put on the left-hand side. And for all those that are going to be asking, I'm using the TD Ameritrade Think or Swim platform, because I know that's a very popular question. It's the platform that I use. It's not the platform that you have to use yourself. So let's go ahead and give our 2 cents about what we think about PAYS. So overall, I like the direction on the 180-day chart. I think that we can all agree on that, right? It was at highs of 118.67. I would look into what caused this pullback. It normally does a very good job, right? Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to, though. But overall, it's an uptrend pattern. It's been showing signs of higher highs and higher lows. I find that attractive. The overall direction is in our favor. So if we want to grow our accounts, then it makes sense on why we focus on patterns that are showing signs of growth, right? We got Ish joining us, also posting the ticker call out format. So please make sure that you don't just post the ticker symbol, that you actually focus on doing that whole breakdown. So I like this one. I like the MACD. The RSI is not the best, but it's not bad. And I think that, if we were to talk, right, if you've watched a number of my videos, there's 3 stages of a reversal. We've talked about the rejection, we've talked about consolidation, and then we've talked about confirmation, right? So where would you think that PAYS is within that 3-step process? What's going on, Dink Willie? What's up? What would you think that PAYS, what stage is that in? Is that in the rejection? Is it in consolidation? Or is it in confirmation? So the MACD looks good. The RSI looks decent. Again, we have the overall pattern, right? The overall pattern it's very easy to understand. The overall direction is very easy to understand. We have some people saying rejection, consolidation, waiting for confirmation. I would say that this is in the very early stages of a confirmation. And let me explain why. If you think that it's still consolidating, then great. But this is when it was getting rejected. It was making lower lows and lower highs. It's selling off. Right? That's what we mean by getting rejected. Consolidating just means that it's flatlining. It's not really selling off anymore, and it's not really making higher highs, right? It's kind of just flatlining, so consolidating. And then once we begin to actually make higher highs and break above the EMA line, this could be in the very early stages of confirmation of a reversal. And this is something that's very important because just, not only with reversals when it's going to begin to uptrend, but this also happens when something is about to sell off, right? When it peaks out, it begins to consolidate and then begins to sell off. It changes direction. So I think that's something that's super important. There's three things that I like to focus on. Pattern, I understand that. Direction, I like that on PAYS. And now opportunity costs. From where it's been at before, again, I'm not going to go at its highest price point, but where it's been at before, around that $18 price point to where the EMA line is at. So the EMA line to the $18 price point offers a little bit over 28%. Obviously, it doesn't have to cover that entire margin, but you at least want to set yourself up for success. I think that's something that we can all agree, right? So with that being said, right, do you find the opportunity cost to be worth it? Do you find the pattern to be worth it? And do you like the direction? If so, this might be something that you might want to add to your watch list. If it doesn't meet your criteria, right? If you think that the RSI is a little bit on the overextended side, if you want to wait for higher high confirmations and a little bit more candles on the 4-hour chart to confirm an uptrend, then so be it. At the end of the day, no one else should be deciding what you choose to trade. I just wanted to present this one and break this one down. This is the first one that we've broken down, and I don't think it's too bad. So the volume on PAYS is scary. I wouldn't say so. I would say it's pretty decent. But yeah, just wanted to break that one down for you guys. So appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. What is going on, Darwin? IIPR. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go. IIPR. Okay, so this would be in the so again, if we were to talk about the 3 stages of a reversal, I like the overall pattern on this, right? So the SMA line normally acts as a support. It doesn't always have to. It does have an up and coming earnings report on 8/8/2019, right? So what is that? August 8th. So let's go ahead and I'm going to set my alert. I would say that if we're talking about the 3 stages of a reversal, this is kind of in a very early stage. We're still getting rejected by this EMA line, right? It's still acting as a resistance, and it's no longer aggressively selling off, but just like we've seen before, it tries to push up, it tries to really, ride on that EMA line and then gets rejected. We don't want to partake in that, right? I think that we can both agree that if you've ever had this experience, when you wait for confirmation and when you wait for the action to happen, it's a much more efficient and effective trade. The overall experience is not that roller coaster of the ups and downs of holding something as it's selling off, it's picking up, selling off. It's just do your part and staying disciplined, right? What would make sense to view this as a quality trade? I think that confirmation is key, right? And it's a big area of opportunity, I think, for a lot of traders. So I like the opportunity cost that this thing presents, right? Based off previous patterns and how much it has to cover. Now we just need to wait for confirmation that it can reverse back up. So that would be my highest thing. But just as much as it could go up, it can go down. So I'm going to set my alerts both if this thing begins to make higher highs, but also, like we've seen multiple times, it could break its pattern, break below the SMA line, and continue to descend. So just as much as it could go up, it could go down. So let's just make sure, Darwin, that we keep that in mind before entering our position. So here we go, ticker symbol KMI. Moving on to the third one. Alrighty. What do you guys think about this one? So this is Kinder Morgan Incorporated. Again, I'm just doing breakdowns based off of technical analysis. I don't know anything when it comes down to the fundamentals of these specific stocks themselves. One of the things that I do want to point out is, again, the SMA line has been acting as a support. As you see, again, just looking at previous patterns, it's very easy, especially with the RSI indicator, to see when something's overbought, right? Even the MACD, and then when it's due for a pullback, when something's overbought, due for a pullback, it normally bounces or at least consolidates around this SMA line. It's just a pattern that you can pick off of, right? A pattern that you can pick off. Here we go. And then based off of previous patterns, there's a resistance right around 21.31. So now we're consolidating again right around the SMA line. And then again, one of the things that I like to ask myself is Okay, is there a pattern that you recognize? Yeah, it normally consolidates around the SMA line. Is it consistent? Yeah, I would say so. And then one of the last things is, the direction and the opportunity cost. The direction is not super clear. It definitely, it's showing signs of an uptrend, but it's not really making higher highs. We're kind of just not really breaking above 2150. And I think that we can all agree on that it's kind of just a very strong resistance at that area. But the last thing that's super important to me, right? We've said this example multiple times before, and let me know if you guys agree. The margin of profit is about 2%, right? From where it's at to previous resistance. And it doesn't even have to hit, 21.27. So if the trade works out according to plan perfectly, which it normally never does, that's about a 2% margin. And to me, that's just not super attractive. And again, I'm just speaking based off of my experience. 2% for something that looks like this might be super attractive to you. Again, if it meets your criteria, then 100% all power to you. But at the end of the day, that's not necessarily something that I personally see value in. And again, I just wanted to share that with you. So I like the pattern. I like the overall just direction, but I don't think it's consistent. I don't think the margin of profit is enough for me to see value in it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we go. We got AJ with DAI. Appreciate you tuning in. There we go. Not enough profit. Yeah, and again, I'm just speaking based off of my opinion. I don't think it's enough, and I'm okay with saying that, right? But it might be enough for you, and if it's enough for you, then at the end of the day, you should trade whatever it is that you see value in. So ignore, if you still see value in it, then 100% just go for it. Doesn't look like it's pulling up. So there we go. All right. I want you guys to help me break this one down. Can you guys do me the biggest favor and help me break this one down? So what's going on, Sophia? What's going on, Corey? BAH. What do you think about this one? Oh, we got Renee in the house. How you doing? What do you think about this one? I like to focus on three things. And these are my three criteria, and I've shared this before: direction, pattern, and margin of profit, right? At the end of the day, we're deal hunters. Looking at that, it's at $70, right? It's trading at $69.20. And all of you guys are saying it. It's overextended, it's overbought. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD, and just look at previous patterns. Let's say that you do not know how to read any of these indicators, which is fine. Everyone starts somewhere, right? That's totally fine. At the end of the day, let's keep this super simple. You're a deal hunter, right? You're trying to put your money in something for a good deal so that it can increase in value and sell it for a profit. That's the idea, right? I think that we can all agree that the direction for BAH is very attractive. It's showing signs of it making higher highs. It's a very consistent uptrend pattern. I think that we can all agree on that. The direction is attractive and the pattern is attractive. Now, the last thing is the margin of profit worth it? Let me ask you this. Can BAH continue to uptrend? Answer this. Can BAH continue to uptrend? So right now it's at $70. Can it continue to uptrend? Can it? It can, right? Okay. Based off of previous patterns, because that's all I could really trade off of, right? What most likely, based off previous patterns, will happen? It will pull back, right? There's no question that these indicators are indicating that it's overextended. So let's keep it super simple. Do your part as a trader or as an investor, depending on your approach, right? To just get a good deal. Every time that you're about to buy something, just understand that you're getting a good deal. If I were to buy it at $70 and looking at previous patterns, is it a good deal? No. Can it continue to uptrend? Of course, anything can happen. This thing can open up at $100. It can open up at $50. Anything can happen. But what will most likely happen based off of previous patterns? It will pull back. It's overextended. It's overbought, and just do your part as a trader. That there's nothing wrong with saying no, even though you find 2 out of the 3 things attractive. If it does not meet your last thing on your criteria checklist, then guess what? I'd rather be safe than sorry, right? And you are correct. It does have an earnings report. When is it? Oh, tomorrow. It does have an earnings report tomorrow. So again, at the end of the day, so it says it's going to be during Central Time. I'm excited to see how this one ends up performing. But at the end of the day, like, I find the pattern attractive. I find the direction attractive. The margin of profit based off previous patterns just isn't there for me, and I'm okay with sharing that, and just do whatever it is that you see valid. But I hope that breakdown and that analysis somewhat made sense. For, again, the whole purpose of these Sunday stock talks are not just for the stocks that we break down, but so you guys kind of hear my thought process, right, and how I break down stocks and cherry pick the things that you find attractive about how I determine value, or how I don't see value in something. You don't have to agree with everything it is that I do, but I'm sure that you can cherry pick a series of different best practices that I implement that might be helpful or useful when performing your own technical analysis. That's the whole point of this. So let's see. Zlair, okay. I'll go ahead and I'll look out for an email coming from you, and I'll just make sure that for whatever reason, we'll talk to you about maybe why that ban happened. So I appreciate you letting me know. Here we go. So yeah, I would set my alert closer to the SMA line. Again, we're deal hunters, right? But just as much as it could pull back, it can continue to uptrend. So I'm just going to set my alert on both sides. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Here we go. So Kyle Brown, thank you for tuning in. It's going to be ticker symbol QD. Here we go. All right, what do you guys think about this one? QD. Again, we're deal hunters. You guys are doing, can we all agree that you guys are doing a much better job, in my opinion, and this is based off of my preference, you guys are doing a much better job focusing on stocks that are showing signs of an uptrend. Are they always the best deal right now? No, but we're slowly refining, your trading approach, right? So not a good deal yet, but all right. So everyone's saying that it's overextended, which I agree. Looking at patterns, it's very easy to understand when something is overbought, right? It's not a good deal. It looks like it pushed up. It looks like it's beginning to consolidate. Looking at the RSI, looking at the MACD, it all makes sense. Can we all agree that the pattern is attractive and the direction is attractive? That's 2 out of the 3 things. So I like the pattern. I think that we can all agree that it's a very easy pattern to understand the low points, the high points, the low points, the high points, right? It's a very clear direction of something that's showing signs of an uptrend. But now the margin of profit, right? Yeah, it can continue to go up, but it has much more potential based off previous patterns to pull back. So I would rather do my part as a trader to set my alerts and get alerted when it's more in that good deal range. So we'll wait for this thing to sell off, we'll wait for it to consolidate, and we'll wait for higher high confirmations, and then get in when the action is happening, right? When it plays according to plan and when the margin of profit is worth it. So I agree. So really happy that you guys were able to find this one. I'm going to set my alert both up here, and I already set my alert. So I'm going to set 3 alerts here. So if it breaks above $9, once it breaks below the EMA line, and once it gets closer to the SMA line. So I really do appreciate you guys breaking this one or bringing this one to my attention. So here we go. Netflix. So NFLX. Here we go. Did you guys hear about that? Right? I think what's the show? The Office? Right, that they're going to discontinue it from Netflix or something like that. So here we go. NFLX, right? Looks like it had a really aggressive sell-off during its earnings, presented a dip buy opportunity. And looking at the MACD and looking at the RSI, it looks like it pushed up or recovered very quickly, so it might be due for a pullback before it continues to uptrend. And these are always a little bit tricky. And the reason that I say this is because there is a reason on why, some reason during its earnings report that it aggressively sold off. So there's either a lot of hype, I don't want to say manipulation, but either a lot of just panic sellers, and then a lot of people that were presented with this potential dip buy opportunity. And then once they see it reversing, it can become a little hyped up, right? Because they see it reversing, they see the margin of profit for recovery, and it might push up a little bit too quickly before it can, more than it should have within that short period of time. So all I'm saying is, especially so close during its earnings, just think about this. It was just released with certain earnings that caused it to pull back. And it's not just within a very short period of time that we could expect for it to fully recover. But is recovery, likely? Possibly, right? So what can we do as traders? Well, right now it looks a little bit more on the overextended side. It looks a little bit more on the overbought side based off of these indicators and how quickly it pushed up. I would just be on high alert for a potential pullback. So if you're in it, then I would either follow with a trailing stop loss or just a stop loss in general, just to make sure that you don't give back all the profits that you made. But if you're not already in it, my approach would be, wait for a pullback. Still wait for a good deal, even though it did aggressively sell off, especially when these series of different indicators are kind of hinting on, it not being super oversold anymore. Do you guys get what I mean? I'd rather be safe than sorry. And instead of just looking about all the amazing, things about Netflix and how much it can recover, I just want to be more on the defense. And I hope that that's something that you guys, can understand. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So that's CDNA. CDNA, here we go. Alrighty. So I like this one. I'm going to set my alert here. I think this is a very simple breakdown. It does have an up and coming earnings report, right here. So this one's going to be on the 1st of August. It looks like it did aggressively sell off. Looks at previous patterns. We could see that around $40, CDNA becomes a little bit more on the overbought side. I think that we can all agree on that. It normally tries to hold above the SMA line. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. So this is why confirmation is super important. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, the direction is not super clear, just to make it that simple. The direction is not super clear. I don't know if this thing is going to begin to uptrend, if it's going to still consolidate, or if it's going to continue to sell off. What can we do? What can we do? And for all those that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit, you guys should all understand, right? As soon as the market opens, if an opportunity does not present itself, or, if whatever you visualize as a perfect setup, if you don't see that happening, what can you do? Right? What can we do with CDNA when the direction is not super clear, where we don't know, right, what's going to most likely happen? You just give it time. Again, I've said this multiple times, but I just want to continue to remind you until it becomes second nature. Just do your part as a trader to keep things simple. Right? If the direction is not super clear, then give it time until it is, right? I'd rather get in a little bit late when the action is happening rather than a little bit early when it just is going to continue to sell off. And it's just, your approach. You can treat it or see that in any way that you want to. But at the end of the day, you want to feel comfortable and you want to enjoy the experience. And in my experience, I enjoy it so much more when I have an effective and efficient trade, when I just get in and get out when the action is happening. Yeah, maybe I didn't get in for the best deal, or maybe I didn't sell at the highest point, but it was a very efficient trade with my time, right? Why is it almost all guys here? I think that there's no question that, as in general, the stock market is very male dominant, but we have a lot of amazing ladies that are part of TechBot Solutions and Learn, Plan, Profit and our YouTube channel as well. But definitely, it's definitely very a lot of girls. And all the girls are coming out right now, so you want to get them fired up. I do want to say we have a lot of girl traders within Learn, Plan, Profit, and if anything, girls, in my opinion, have become or have been a little bit more disciplined. They hold themselves accountable more for what it is that they do. And we've seen this a lot also for those that are part of flipping wheels when it comes down to buying and reselling cars. Just a little thing to maybe take into consideration. I think one of the biggest things is just accountability and discipline, being able to control that. So just something to kind of look out for. But here we go. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So we've done 3, 6, 7. Let's do 3 more. Mike, HTZ. Let's do it. Appreciate you tuning in. This girl's new to LPPA and I love it. Appreciate it. So happy to have you as part of the team. So here we go. So let's go ahead and talk about HTZ in this breakdown. So looking at this overall analysis, what is it that we can determine right now? Is HTZ an ascending uptrend pattern? Big picture. Is it aggressively pushing up? Is it super clear direction, right? What's going on with this? HTZ. It's downtrending. Look at the SMA line. I think that the SMA line is an amazing indicator, big picture, for overall direction, the way that this thing is currently heading, right? So when HTZ was showing signs of an uptrend over here, the SMA line was pointing down. Once it broke that pattern and began to make lower highs and lower lows, the SMA line began to trend down. So with that being said, let's just do our part in understanding the low points, the high points, and the overall direction. Right now, the SMA line is selling off, and looking at the RSI, looking at the MACD, can you see, let me just ask you this, would it make sense? Would you be surprised if HTZ would get rejected around this SMA line? Looking at previous patterns, how it's selling off with the direction with its patterns, looking at these indicators, would you genuinely be surprised that it would get rejected here? I think it's overbought. I think it's overextended. And I would not be surprised if it would then begin to get rejected there and then continue to sell off. So because of that, I don't view this to be a good deal. I don't like the direction. Yes, I see a pattern, but it doesn't meet 2 out of the 3 things in my criteria, right? So because of that, I would have to say no. I'll set my alert. The direction can 100% change, but I would just need a little bit more confirmation for that, right? So I'm going to set my alert and kind of go off of that. So let's go ahead, and that one's a done deal. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So the first angel is, okay, so ticker symbol D, here we go. Alrighty. This one would be viewed a little bit more as a horizontal pattern. Looking at this with 78, $25. It looks like we're consolidating here. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, we can see that this is a little bit more on the oversold side. I think that we can all agree based off of previous patterns. Right now, the SMA line, it doesn't have a super clear direction. We don't really know if this thing's showing signs of an uptrend, if it's selling off or anything like that. It's kind of just consolidating. I think that we can all agree on that. It's still below the EMA line, and it's still getting rejected. So I like the MACD and I like the RSI. It presents a good deal, right? Good deal opportunity. Let me ask you this. Is this a good buy right now? Earnings is coming up. I like how all of you guys are super aware of earnings. I do have a video on YouTube that talks about why I don't hold during earnings. Feel free to watch that. Also, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, I have a video on that as well. But, what is the difference from a good deal opportunity and a good buy opportunity? It's one word. Difference from a good deal opportunity and a good buy opportunity. What would you guys say? So yes, it's oversold, right? We could see that based off previous patterns. We could see that it's, pending potential reversal, but all we have to give it is give it time to confirm this reversal. Confirmation. Confirmation, again, it's the very simple things in life that I think people overcomplicate. So just do your part, right? Just ask yourself, why do you wake up every morning to, let's say if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, to watch me trade live? You try to watch me trade live, right, to see if an opportunity presents itself, to put your money in something, to grow your account. Why do you wake every morning to trade? Every morning to trade? To grow your account, to learn, right? So with that being said, do you agree that it would be so much easier to grow your account just if you ignore, if all you focused on was trading and investing, depending on your approach, in stocks, ETFs, or patterns that are showing signs of growth, right? Keeping it super simple. If you want to grow your account, then trade patterns that are showing signs of growth. So it's great. We identified a pattern. It's great. We identified a good deal opportunity. Now we need to do our part as traders to do the very simple things that could go a very long way, right? Actions speak louder than words. And if you really want to do this potentially for the rest of your life, then make sure that your best practices today align with your end goal. It's not about getting in just to buy at the lowest price point, but it's making sure that you have the discipline and making sure it meets all your criteria so you feel comfortable with that trade. And that's confirmation, at least for me. And that's why I ask you, that's why I beg each and every single one of you to develop your own eye for value, to develop a list of criteria that every stock has to meet that you see value in. And that's a checklist that you have to come up with yourself. And that's exactly why I put that first link in the description, so you can get an idea of what I view from my criteria. But it's not to copy that, because again, let's agree, you don't trade like me. You're not me, right? I'm not you. And I would much rather you have something to build off of and understand like, why is that my criteria and why I see value in that, and to cherry pick what you find attractive about that criteria. It might be one thing, it might be a couple things, it might be nothing, right? But at least you can get an idea of what it means to build a criteria checklist. All right. But yeah, so confirmation is key. I would wait for the break above the EMA line. I'm sorry that I'm making so much of an emphasis on waiting for confirmation, but it's really worked out well for the people that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit. I stress it every single day that confirmation is key. Confirmation is key. Patience, patience, patience. And it really does go a long way, as well as risk management, something that we all have to take into consideration if we want to grow our accounts. So here we go. We have a lot of people that are asking about BYND. I'm just going to do it because we have too many people spamming it, and none of you guys are posting it in the ticker call out format. So I just don't get it. I'm going to break this one down, and I know I don't want to offend, again, this is just my 2 cents. I don't want to offend anyone based off of my analysis. You guys know that, all right, I'll do AMD for you next. But you guys know that, again, at the end of the day, I like to focus on getting something for a good deal. So if you continue to do this, I'll just block you from the thing. So it's that simple. If you continue to spam the chat, I'll just remove you from the chat. Again, if you're not posting it in the ticker call out format, if you're not doing your part to do your own analysis, why am I going to spend my time if you can't even help yourself? Do you guys get what I'm saying? That's why I'm asking you to post it in the ticker call out format. So looking at BYND, what do we see? It's overextended. Look at the RSI and look at the MACD. It's not a good deal. Can it continue to uptrend? It has earnings coming up. Can it continue to uptrend? 100%. Anything can happen, right? But when it comes down to the very, very basics, is this a good deal? So if you know for some fundamental reason that during the earnings, it's, for whatever it is that that's going to drive the price up. If you believe in BYND and what it stands for, then that's up to you, right? That's not my breakdown. I'm a technical trader. So based off of my technical analysis and looking at previous patterns and how it trades, it's not a good deal. It's overextended, it's overbought, and it's due for a pullback. I would much rather do my part in missing out in this opportunity rather than hoping that it does well and it actually pulling back down to the SMA line. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, again, not just like I just feel like too many people are too hopeful when they're first getting started. They hope to get lucky maybe because that's how they first got started. But at the end of the day, just make sure that you do your part as a trader or as an investor, whatever your approach is, that there's a reason behind every action that you take. I think that can go a very long way. So can we talk about penny stocks? I don't trade penny stocks anymore, so that's not a huge focus that we have. But if you have a stock that you want me to break down and I get to it, then of course I'd be happy to break it down for you. So here we go. Let's go ahead and go for NKE. So this is Nike. Alrighty. I can definitely see why someone would see value in this one right now. Looking at the RSI, looking at the MACD, it's not the best deal, and it's not super overextended. Yeah, it does have a little bit more margin for it to push up, right? But look at that percentage, right? Look at that percentage at its very peak, right around that $90 price point, 2.62%. I just don't find that to be attractive enough for me to get in right now when I know it has the potential to pull back. Like, would you be genuinely surprised if it were to begin to pull back? If not, then maybe this isn't the best deal that you can take advantage of right now. Here we go. What's going on, Rangers? So AMD. Oh, I almost forgot that one. I do apologize for that. Here we go. AMD. All right. You guys love this one, huh? What do you guys think about AMD? Based off of previous patterns, what do you guys think about AMD? It has an up-and-coming earnings report, right? Look at the last earnings that it had. There's a push up and then pull back. It's a really nice ascending uptrend pattern. I agree. Very nice ascending uptrend pattern. But again, and I know I'm boring you guys with this, I just like to keep things really simple. And yeah, maybe I will from time to time miss out on certain opportunities because of this, because it can continue to push up and because it has such a strong uptrend. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. And to me, it makes sense on why this thing can begin to pull back to the SMA line, and it's not the best deal right now. So again, to keep it super simple, is I like to focus on being a deal hunter, and I don't see AMD to be an extremely good deal, right? If I'm buying and reselling iPhones for 500 to 1,000, so if I buy them for 500, I sell them for 1,000. Right now, AMD would be something that would be an iPhone for $950, and I could potentially sell it for 1,000, right? Or maybe this iPhone belonged to someone, and I hope that I could sell it for more. So whatever, right? It's very hopeful for me to think that this is going to continue to uptrend where it's already not a good deal. So with that, I'm just going to keep it in that perspective that I think it's overbought. I think it's overextended. Yeah, it does have its up and coming earnings report, and I'm just not willing to risk it and try to guesstimate which direction that's going to go. I'd rather wait. If it begins to sell off because of its earnings and presents a dip buy opportunity, I set myself up for success because I was patient enough to allow myself to wait. Or if it pushes up because of the earnings report, then guess what? Great. I'm happy for all those that held, but for me, I'm still okay with not partaking in that because I didn't know what was going to happen. It's all about that controlled risk management, right? So let's just do our part as traders to make sure that we have that control. And sometimes that just means not taking the trade. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do one more after F, which is Ford. So F with a potential dip buy opportunity due to earnings, right? So this is definitely something that we can maybe take into consideration. So very similar to, what was it? Netflix, right? So it sold off aggressively and then recovered. So let's just, again, looks like a potential dip buy. We don't know if it's going to continue to sell off or actually reverse. I'm just going to set my alert. The margin of profit for potential recovery is pretty decent, especially for Ford being a huge company. And leaving it at that. But again, confirmation is key. Just do your part as traders that, making sure that the direction is in your favor. It's that simple. So let's go from that, and let's go ahead and break down one more. So thank you, Ricky. You are the best. Oh, appreciate you. Thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate you, Lucas. Can you lose a lot day trading? You can lose everything that you have in your trading account day trading. That's, the market that we're in. That's what's so important. So if you're asking that question, it probably means that you're not ready to trade. And I'm not saying that to offend you in any way. It just means that maybe you need to dedicate a little bit more time to inform yourself. And that's why, for those that are just getting started, for those that maybe just came across my YouTube channel or know nothing, right? And that's okay to know nothing. Everyone starts at zero, right? That's why we created the Learn Plan Profit crash course. I think it's a third or fourth link in the description. It's literally $7. And it's not going to provide you with everything that you need to know. This is the crash course. It's $7. All it provides you with is to understand what you're getting yourself into. So it's like a Subway sandwich. It's $7. And if you're struggling to understand what is going on, I talk about a lot of I'm very open about preparing you for what to expect in the market and maybe what to pay attention to that I see a lot of value in. That's the easiest way for me to kind of explain what the Learn Plan Profit crash course is for. It's not going to teach you everything you need to know, right? That's what the Learn Plan Profit course is for. But the crash course is just, if you're struggling to understand maybe what platforms to use, how to get started, what the stock market is and what it has to offer, then it might be worth your time and your money to check out the crash course. And again, it's $7. So you guys can check it out. And I think, again, it's the third or fourth link in the description. You guys can hold me accountable to this for the crash course. And Justin, I don't know if you're okay with this, but I can promise you, right? If you're an absolute beginner, right? If you're not a beginner, then this would not relate to you, but I'll hold you to this. If you're an absolute beginner that you just, came across the stock market, you know absolutely nothing, enroll in the crash course. It's literally $7. If you don't learn anything new, I will refund you the crash course, $7. That's how my whole thing with the $7 is literally it covers, what is it that it covers? It literally covers just to host the little mini crash course. So that's simple. If you don't feel like you got $7 worth of information, I think it's a little bit over 1 hour of information that you can't find anywhere else, and it's just for the crash course. So $7. Once you're ready, if you see that, okay, I do see value in the stock market and I do want to partake in that, then that's what we have the Learn, Plan, Profit course for. And that's the group that gets to watch me trade live every single day. So again, that's that second link in the description, if I'm not mistaken, second or third link. But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. I just wanted, for all those, we've had a decent amount of people just join our YouTube channel. And I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that there is something that's, out there for you, just to get the very basics down. So let's go ahead. So I'm already an LPP. Yeah, if you're already an LPP, please do not purchase the crash course. There's no reason. It's literally just to provide a little bit more insight and direction. So let's go ahead and do one more. So you are the best teacher. I appreciate you. Thank you again for tuning in. Here we go. Sarah is calling out ticker symbol JNUG. I don't really like doing ETFs during these breakdowns, Sunday Stock Talks, because people love calling it, just they don't like that I focus so much on ETFs. So, but JNUG, definitely, it aggressively sold off. Looking at the RSI and looking at the MACD, it isn't an overall uptrend pattern. So just be careful with this, because one of two things can happen. I've seen this happen very often, and it peaked out, definitely consolidated, it became overextended, pulled back, but now it's almost finding a support here, right? And if we see this thing break above the EMA line, it can continue to rally, which means that it can continue to uptrend. But if it does begin to make lower lows, then hey, if JNUG then begins to sell off, then that means that JDST, the inverse, right, ETF, will then begin to push up. So just make sure that you're aware of both scenarios, right? Don't just think that it's one thing's going to happen, and this is why confirmation is so important. So I have a huge focus on ETFs and ETNs, and that's my niche. At the very end of the day, it's just you find your niche within the market. And trust me, you're going to enjoy it so much more. I'm not saying that ETFs are the best option, because I know that they're not the best options for everyone, but it's just I have found it to be very helpful. So Ricky, I've been watching your videos on YouTube for like a year, and I've never heard of the crash course. Glad you said something. Oh, Cameron, appreciate that. We actually just created it like, what, a month, 2 months ago?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so it was literally just we've been getting so many people bring up the idea that, like, I don't know if I want to invest in our Learn, Plan, Profit course, right, just yet, because you don't know if you're going to see value in the market, and you have way too many YouTube videos, but I want to have more structure. So that's the whole purpose of the crash course. It's something that if I give the crash course away for free, it's going to be like YouTube videos. People will just there's no like motivation to complete the course. Once you pay for something, and again, you guys can correct me, right, but for $7, it's enough just to get you intrigued to actually watch the entire videos. And from there, I hope that I can provide you some insight with what to expect in my experience with the stock market. And that it's that simple. If you're like, I'm not ready, then guess what? You don't have to continue, right? With Learn, Plan, Profit or anything like that. But if you like what it is that you see, and you think that you're ready for it, then maybe you can take the next step and not even enrolling in Learn, Plan, Profit. You don't have to do that. That's just if you want to watch me trade live, and get access to the full course. But at least we'll give you more insight of kind of maybe the direction of what to focus on. So only the best deals, it. Yeah. And if you guys are going to ask for a discount on the Learn, Plan, Profit crash course, I don't know what to tell you, but it's not going to get any cheaper than $7. But and it's not monthly. It's one time fee. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just do one more breakdown, and then let's go from there. So here we go, ticker symbol SHOP. All right, what do you guys think about ticker symbol SHOP? S-H-O-P. S-H-O-P. Nice consistent uptrend, right? Is this the best deal? You want to know what I would like to look for with SHOP? I want to see SHOP sell off to the SMA line, and for me to buy it when it breaks back above. That's what I want to see. Do you guys get what I mean? Can it continue to uptrend? Yeah, and it has an up-and-coming earnings report, so good eye. But I want to buy this when it's a really, really good deal. Again, we're deal hunters. That means that we can't trade everything, because not everything is an extremely good deal. But again, at the end of the day, that's okay, because we have discipline and we have structure. So let's make sure that we empower that we're like, oh, dang, well, Ricky, you keep saying like, no, this thing, like I can't trade this or I can't. I'm not telling you can or cannot trade anything, right? I'm just saying that it's better to be selective than to, try to throw your money at everything and hope that it grows. I think that's very naive, right? So let's just do our part in waiting. So and this is what I want to end it with. You guys know about our Facebook group, right? So I'm just going to, you guys know about our free Facebook group. I think it's the first link. No, second link in the description. You guys know about our crash course, and you guys know about Learn, Plan, Profit. Also, if you're watching this live and you're ready to enroll in Learn, Plan, Profit with a group that I work with, refresh the screen and scroll all the way down. And for our Sunday Stock Talk, we have a $40 off coupon for you if you're ready. But I want to end it with this. This is what I want. This is kind of like the mindset that I want to have, that I want you to have this week. Right? It has nothing to do with my trading style. Nothing to do with my trading style. All it has to do with is, so if you're asking questions about, like, I saw one of the questions of like, I have $5,000, how much money can I make trading? You're not ready to trade. If you're asking that question, it's that simple. You're not ready to trade with real money. Download the TD Ameritrade paper trading platform, practice everything that you learn, and until you understand what it means to make money, or what it means to find something for a good deal, then maybe you can consider the idea of trading with real money. If you're already asking, well, with $5,000, how much money can I make? You don't understand how the stock market works. That's simple. But all I want to leave you with is, what does a perfect pattern setup look like for you? So what does a good deal setup look like for you, like visually, right? So if you're focused on a technical analysis standpoint, what does that look like for you on the 180-day chart, on the 1 day, 1 minute chart? What does that visually look like for you? I'm gonna explain to you what that looks like for me. So on the 180-day chart, I like to see a nice consistent uptrend pattern, right? I like there to have been a recently higher high, a pullback to the SMA line, and we're getting some form of consolidation. I want to set my alert for when it breaks above the EMA line and once it makes higher highs, and that would be my ideal setup for a potential swing trade on the 180-day 4-hour chart, right? I want to get in for a good deal. I want the margin of profit to be worth it, 5% plus, and I want it to be right above the SMA line, showing signs of a support. That is what I view as a good deal on the 180-day chart. What do I view as a good deal on the 1 day, 1 minute chart? I want to show you. Let me see if I can find something. So 1 day, 1 minute chart. Let's see. Nope. Oh, here. So I want something trading in between the middle and top VWAP, right? I want something where this is a little bit more difficult to see, maybe because you don't have natural gas, but I like to focus on watching the future. So this is DGAS, which is an ETN, right? A natural gas ETN, and this is showing signs of an uptrend. It's making higher highs and higher lows, right? In a sense, and the direction is at least clear. You have to give it time for it to perform like this, but how this would look like is if this was /NG, you would see /NG selling off. So if natural gas is selling off, then DGAS is pushing up, and it's that simple. So what does a perfect setup look like to me? Again, I'm not talking about the ETF or the ETN, that's irrelevant. What does the perfect setup look like to me? If anything, I would like this to be more aggressively pushing up, showing signs of higher highs and showing signs of higher lows. That's what a ideal setup looks like for me. Trading between the middle and top VWAP, becoming overextended, pulling back to the middle VWAP, below the EMA line, then confirms the reversal and then makes higher highs again. That's what visually it looks like to me. So what I'm asking you this week is, right after this Sunday Stock Talk, before getting dinner or anything like that, I want you to write down for a swing trade and for a day trade. Do your part as a trader to write down and draw what it would look like for you for a perfect setup, because that's what I want you to look for. I don't care what it is that I'm trading. I don't care what someone else is telling you to trade. At the end of the day, you're the final decision maker on what you choose to take advantage of. And the reason that I want you to focus on what that visually looks like is because I want you to only take those positions, because it makes sense, right? If that's what you want to wait for, then it makes sense to wait for that, the opportunity to present itself, your perfect setup, and meet stocks that are very close to what that looks like, and build your watch list off of that. Become very micro focused on what makes sense to you and what you find attractive. Very simple, right? You could ignore all the noise about what I'm trading, what I made money on. That's irrelevant to you. If you don't see value in the way that I trade, that's 100% okay. I empower you for that. I think that's amazing, because it means that you have you're a different eye for value. And I think that's amazing. but you have to have an opinion, but you have to first inform yourself of what that's made out of. So Bitcoin, Ricky, and why not? I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't trade cryptocurrency or anything like that. I don't trade Forex, options. I just don't. Why don't you buy and resell bags, right? Like potato chips. I just don't. It's just, can you make money off of it? Yeah, I'm sure you can, but I just don't. And that's okay. So I appreciate you asking, but yeah, it's just not something that I do. I like investing and trading in the stock market. I like investing in cars. And yeah, I said investing. So I like buying and reselling cars. And I like investing in real estate. Those are my 3 things. So does LPP have merch? TechBuds Solutions does. You can Google TechBuds Apparel, and we have a bunch of different shirts that you can check out. But that's really what I wanted to leave you guys with. I just wanted to provide you with, or leave you with that idea in your head of, it's sometimes very complicated because you just become, you are thrown all over the place of like, oh, maybe you should invest in this. Maybe you should buy this. Maybe you should, trade this because there's so many different opinions that are thrown at you. Ignore the noise. Write down and draw what it looks like for a good setup for you, but for a day trade and a swing trade. And do not take your next position until something looks similar to that. Build your criteria checklist. And again, that's that first link in the description. And I think that can be one very simple step that you take today that can lead to a big difference down the road, right? Because now you'll have a much better understanding of what to expect for a good deal to present itself. And it just means that you're going to be more selective. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. It's been 50 minutes, holy moly. I hope that I earned your thumbs up for the past 50 minutes. I'm sorry that I talked a little bit too much. I didn't know that it was that long. But I'm really happy that I was able to spend this time with you guys. And I'm really looking forward to at least doing my part to grow my account this week, right? I'm going to be trading live with the Learn Plan Profit group. I do want to let you guys know for all those that are part of Learn Plan Profit, I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to trade live tomorrow at market open. I'm leaving tonight from Arizona. I'm flying to Miami, and I get to Miami at 10 a.m. So yeah, I'm 100% not going to be able to trade live at market open. I think it opens at 9:30 in the East Coast, right? So once I get all settled in to where I'm staying in Miami, right, I'll go ahead and I'll go live, but it's just not going to be at market open. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that, and I'll post it in the announcement section so everyone's aware, so you don't have to wake up early, or at least to tune into my live stream. So, but yeah, other than that, I do plan on going live every day at market open, but I'm going to have a very busy week in Miami with the team that we're going to be out there with. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Again, all the links are down below. If this is the first time that you've ever checked out any of our videos, dedicate, like 2 minutes, browse through the series of links that we have there. We have a free checklist for you, our free Facebook group. We have so many different options, right? We have the crash course, the Learn Plan Profit course, if you're ready to work with me, and that's simple. So really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Feel free to drop any comments or suggestions down in the comment section. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Appreciate it. And yeah, take care.